Let's go. What's up, everyone? Oh my gosh, I just realized I still have the green screen thing set up in my background from a bit that I was doing. We got to change that right now. Right now. There we go. That's better. How's everybody doing? Can you guys hear me all right? Listen, special edition, special late day edition here of the morning marketplace. Depending on where you are, could even be afternoon marketplace. We got Beamer up in here. D Rose, Daniel Christian, Joker Rock, Jago, Tom, Liam's up in here. Who else we got? Michael, Hippy Dippy, Yachty, Patrick McGuire, DC, guys, Jay Worley. Everybody's here. We love it. Lakers are dead. David Kim is right. The Lakers are dead. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. Guys, Lakers are dead, but hey, Robert says it's 5 p.m. in London. Lakers are dead, but the marketplace, is the marketplace alive? Is that what's happening? Because it's later in the day, I've already had 3 cups of coffee, so I'm feeling a little psychotic. So we're switching to tea right now to save the voice for a show later. Let's take a little sip. Sponsor me, you cowards. Sponsor me, you cowards. Gene's up in here. I'm live. This is crazy. We're doing it, right? Listen, I didn't even pull up the stats. But this is what I will tell you. Jokic balled out. Michael Porter Jr. balled out. Devin Booker balled out. Lakers and Blazers are gone. The Lakers and the Blazers are gone. The Suns and Chris Paul, Devin Booker on the path to the Western Conference Finals. I'm so excited for Suns Nuggets. Maybe the tea companies are the sponsor we've been missing, Liam. You ain't wrong. Maybe that's what we need. All right, listen, we get some stuff to cover. Sawyer's up in here. Dominic says, I've been in Top Shot since February and haven't sold out, so I'm pretty pissed. My collector score won't let me qualify for a pack. Yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about the pack drops. The first thing I want to do is look at the market a little bit, but then we are going to talk about the pack. We've got the upcoming holo drop, or the premium pack that's now $24. Then we have a holo pack that's coming up. We can talk about how, you know what? Now I'm happy I did the Cool Cats. So take my rant back. Flush it down the toilet. But let's look at OTM. Let's go over to Own the Moment first. Shout out Own the Moment. They do awesome stuff. We love them. All right, let's switch this background action over here. Bang. Clean. Let's boost this up a little bit. All right, let's go over to Own the Moment. The top gain is Tobias Harris, Cool Cats. The whole Cool Cats phenomenon is wild. But you can see Devin Booker had a nice old boost. Let's just look at Devin Booker's moment, just all of them. Let's look at all of them. Because I think this is exciting. This is growth. But this is exciting because we're seeing like games the night before. We're seeing player impact the market, and that's what we're looking for. Gene says, what would your collector score have been without the CC bonus, though? I'll go look at we'll do that in a second. Let's look at Booker first. D-Book. See where are we at? Look at these moments. In the last 24 hours, his Cool Cat's up 73%. His Series 2 dunk is up 66%. His Series 1 block, Top Shot debut moment, you could have gotten that in the 400, 500 range. It's now 725, up 45% in the last 24 hours. His Series 2 3-pointers up 40%. Everything across the board is up. Let's look at DeAndre Ayton, too. We're responding to the Suns. What's up, V-Hawk? Glad you're here. I was number 1 on moment ranks till Braun started carrying. I know, dude. I finished 29th last night. 29th in the daily contest. We were balling. In the daily contest. Hey, I want to do some business. I haven't thrown everything in the show notes like I normally do, but if you haven't had a chance, all I'm asking you to do today, like that stream, baby. Like that stream. Daniel says this is the Booker bubble. Cash in before it all bursts, with all due respect. You think it's going to burst? I mean, I imagine the Suns have got to be the favorite to come out over the Nuggets, right? So now we're getting a Western Conference Finals Suns. I don't know. I like Booker. All right, there's a lot of talk about my collector score, so let's go see it. Let's go see that shish. 5,138. That was out of last night. I also sold some moments today, but also bought some moments. You can see I have 37 Series 1 moments, 8 challenge rewards. So there we go. That's my collector score, 5,138, 9,938 after the old boosty boost. All right, who else should we look at? Oh, yeah, let's go back to Ayton, right? Oh, man, that looked up Peyton Pritchard like a fish that I am. Let's look at Peyton Pritchard's up 33% in the last 24 hours. All right, but see, like we're seeing stuff go up here. DeAndre Ayton Series 1 moment is up 24% in the last day. It's up, oh, I'm sorry, it's metallic gold. It's up 47% in the last week. But same thing with his Series 1 moment. It's kind of mimicking what's happening with his metallic gold. His Top Shot debut, 20%, 45%. His throwdowns even up a little bit, which that might be in the challenge, so that might be why. But just like a lot of green, guys. We're seeing a lot of green. Now, what do we think? Do we think this is signs to come? Like, is this good news? Are we getting good vibes right now? Or is this just kind of like Daniel was saying, is this just like what's the phrase? The eye of the storm, the calm before the fall. It's always darkest before the dawn. I don't know. Take whatever lyrics you want. Robert says this is liquidation for Monday. Looking at the market over the past couple of days, almost no players left in the playoffs were at floor prices. I think moment ranks, daily games are affecting the floor. I think you're right, man. I think you're right. I think we're seeing part of that, or people are scooping guys to play in daily fantasy. I think you're right. Let's pull up Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr., his Rising Star Series. I'm glad this is going up. This is up 5% in the last 4 hours, 45% in the last 24 hours. I think this is another moment ranks. This might have to do with moment ranks. People are like, I want to play a rare, right? We're seeing a Series 1 moment go up 33. No, where is that at? His Series 1 moment is going up 22%. Ooh, the Kevin Porter Jr. is at. Well, I might buy that right now. I might buy that KPJ right now. But we're seeing some green, right? We are seeing some green. It's good to see it. What's up, Ricardo? Gene says, definitely good vibes. I averaged down a bunch. I averaged down on a bunch of 4K rookies last night. There we go. Ooh. Peep stacking points, in my opinion. Is that what you're saying? I see that comment. Martin up in here. Almost pulled the trigger on the MPJ MGLE. All right, superstar. Brandon says, I won the 8NS Series 2 MGLE on the Top Shot stream yesterday, hoping they gift it by Monday for... Oh, dude, hell yeah, Brandon. Congrats, man. That's awesome. Daniel says, is our collector score for this drop locked in place? In other words, can I raise it before the drop to qualify? That's a great question. Let me pull up some stuff over here. Let's go over to the blog, the blogosphere. I think that'll help. I'll be honest, I haven't read. I know that someone posted something today, so I want to go look at that. Someone was giving some Sawyer some love. Where is it? V-Hawk says, can we get Sawyer as a regular? He's a really great fit to Team Hold and enjoys insight. V-Hawk, I'll say, if you are in the Team Hold Discord, which I'll throw a link in there, because if you guys aren't in there yet, you should. Our man Sawyer is doing stuff pretty much every weekend. He does like a little voice channel, and we'll continue to have him pop on here. He'll join the morning marketplace every once in a while. We'll get him on the regular shows every once in a while. Absolutely, we're all Sawyer fans here. All right, let's look at the upcoming release plans. I've got too many tabs open, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. And let's skim it real quick. So for the premium packs, the needed collector score for entry is 2,500. The number is lofty, but to be sure the bonuses will carry many collectors to the GOAT line, the drop bonus is added to your collector score, and if the combined total is above 2,500, you're eligible. It looks like that snapshot was already taken, right, for that one? While collectors, all right, we're not going to go into all of that. Okay, that's it. And then this drop is happening Monday on June 7th at 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern. You know what I want to talk about, though? What are our thoughts on the price point on this? Like, I know there's some frustration, right? There's some frustration if you're like, okay, like Dominic pointed out, right? He's like, I've been in it since February. I've been putting along, getting some moments, scooping some stuff, but because I didn't either spend enough, I don't have the opportunity at this. So then it's only like the definition of true collector is flimsy, I guess, is what we'd say, right? So that's probably where some of the frustration's coming. I like that they're tweaking with it. I think this is a step in the right direction. I don't know if it's perfect. I wouldn't say they think it's perfect either. And this isn't me. I'm not trying to like defend them or anything. But again, I think this is a good sign that we're seeing the tweaks. Sorry, I need another sip. But what are our thoughts on the $24 price point? Because I think that's pretty exciting. Yeah, everyone has until 12 on Monday. Okay, there we go. Snapshot is only for the bonus, they say. Thank you. Jack Loud says, got drunk one time and offered Sawyer, my girlfriend, tickets to a Hawks game in that Discord. Very nice. It's very nice. Will the price cause people to flip the MGLEs cheap and thus drive down the price of the rest of them? So that's what I was wondering, right? Because I guess what I'm curious, I don't know if they've announced this yet, but do we know what the price of the holo packs are going to be? Because if those are going to be 1,000, if they aren't going to be 1,000, say they drop it down to like 500, does that like absolutely tank some of the other ones there? Or does it just allow the people that got it for the 500? Like, do you still list it as current price, right? Because there's no incentive for, even though you got it for less, right? Even though you got the MGLE for $24, right? And say the lowest ask is $75. What's the incentive of the person that got it for 24 to flip it at that? You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason to completely drop it down. I think, I don't know. That's my thought. I would be curious to hear your thoughts on this. Satoshi says, I'm not qualified, but I like this. It rewards people who got screwed over pretty well. I'll sit out a pack and pick some series 1 when they drop. No biggie. Hey, that is a glass half full attitude right there. Drin says it's heartening that I was able to get Throwdown Series 2 pack and lose money, but I was eligible to get the premium pack so I can bounce back off my loss. Really disappointed. Do you mean it's disheartening? I mean, I feel like if it's heartening, you'd feel like positive about that, right? And John says the rewards are way too good for them to drop too low. Yeah, not eligible. Okay, I got you. Gene says people are crazy and will try to make these packs EV negative. So yes, they will tank the prices. Speaking of EV negative, let's talk about the Lakers with our man Dustin. Dustin, how are you?
Oh my God. What a disappointing ending. What?
When did you watch the whole game?
I watched the whole game, every minute, every second.
Okay.
Never stopped.
I was checking your tweets and I couldn't tell timing wise, like if you punted in like the third quarter.
I just knew that was it. I knew we were done, but I kept watching, and it's like people decided to show up a little too late. And I was just like, that's not, this doesn't negate how terrible you were in the games previous when we really could have used you, Dennis Schroeder.
Oh God.
So
Schroeder, who's playing for a contract too, which I don't know if that like helped or hurt his cause. Yeah, right?
Lost money. Guaranteed lost money.
He lost money. I mean, Kuz is in a tough spot right now.
Flat out garbage. He was absolutely awful. He looked like if they said, Dustin, get out there and play. And I'm like, all right. And I'm driving into the lane and just, you know who looked good?
THT.
The lone bright spot of last night. Like, he looked good. And you said, hey, maybe we should give this guy some minutes.
I know.
He was creating shots. Look, he's wildly young. I get all that stuff. But like, anyways, just the point of last night, they did not look themselves. They looked LeBron looked either old or injured or both, which is probably a bit of both. And that team is completely built to surround those two superstars doing their things. And if one is not there, it doesn't work, because Dennis and Trez just completely disappeared.
Absolutely disappeared. I also think like that team, granted, you got to say Anthony Davis wasn't playing, and that's when the series flipped, right? So like if Anthony Davis, I still think it probably goes 6 or 7 with AD, and the Lakers obviously have a better chance at winning. But like when you don't have AD out there and you don't have anybody that can stick a shot, now you just like the lanes just crowd up and LeBron can't do LeBron stuff. And I think my guess is LeBron was like, the writing's on the wall. There's no reason to while out here. And because you're right, he looked a little old. And it's for the first time ever. He looked like I don't know. He still looked like LeBron, but was moving like older LeBron.
There wasn't as much lift, and you could just see, just watching every single game, I just was like, he's not the same guy. And it was tough. It's crazy because I know you had them going to the finals. You were like, and I think they would have if AD was healthy. I think they would have. They worked well as a unit. All the pieces fit. Even garbage Kuz fit in that team when AD's there, when LeBron's there.
Yeah.
All the puzzle pieces fit. Even Trez, everyone, Schroeder, like everyone. It just, without one of them, it just completely was a house of cards.
I did. I mean, I said from the beginning, like I thought whoever came out of that series is going to the finals. Like whether because I think the Suns have the best path now too. I mean, I guess the Jazz are still there, but I still like the Suns a little bit better to get out. But that was tough. That was tough. My frustration too with like if I'm a Lakers fan, why did it take 6 games to not start Andre Drummond? Like what? Yeah. What does Andre Drummond have on Frank Vogel?
Well, they said something that made me think that this was what you alluded to. They said that Andre Drummond hadn't missed or had not started a game, however you say it. Early morning here on the West Coast still. Andre Drummond had started every single game since high school, except for, I think, one. And this might have been the second game. So as part of his negotiations, I think he said, I want to start.
What? At what point do we hold people accountable for being adults?
I get it. There must have been some handshake agreement of something. That's the only thing I can think of. And then at that point, they just said, "We're probably going to lose. I don't give a shit. You're not starting." Because then if we win, I can say, "Hey, you're not starting the next game."
Right. And so that's what I was wondering too. Like how pissed was Andre Drummond? And if they had this handshake agreement, this is how bad he was playing. It's like, we're like, forget the handshake agreement, dude. You can't, our back's against the wall and you can't do anything. Right. I wonder, like, he must've cost himself a ton of money too.
Someone's going to pick him up. Doesn't matter. Yeah. He's going to, all these guys. I think that all the time, like Schroeder and Trez or whoever, all these guys lost their money. Someone's going to sign him. They're just going to say, oh, we'll bring him off the bench again and he'll be good. Or someone's going to give him money. Maybe he lost. Maybe he did lose some money, but I don't know.
I'm trying to think too of like what they do next year, right? But you have, I think LeBron and AD combined are like 70 something million.
Yeah, I looked at it.
Okay,
I looked at the numbers. That was the first thing I looked at. So it's those two guys. It's a crap load of money.
But and Trez has like a player option, right? So I imagine he's opting in for like 10. Yeah. Oh, the AD LeBron thing makes total sense. But I'm like, I don't know what room you have for moves.
There's some room. So here's what I think. So THT, I think they have to like, I don't know what his contract situation. It didn't have him on for next year, but I think there's some sort of rookie extension they can just give him.
Yeah.
Kuz is 14 mil. I think he gets shipped. I think he gets traded because it's like an easy enough salary to make some move or to be a piece to throw in. Like someone will take that 14 mil and Kuz and be like, yeah, I think he can do good for us or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's Trez, whether he opts in or not, I don't know if he will. He may want like a 3-year deal or something like that.
Yeah, but there's no way he gets 10 million a year anywhere. Like no one's at least
maybe.
The only team that I could see paying him is like the fucking Kings or something, right? Because if you're any sort of like good basketball team, you've now seen 2 teams where like 6th man of the year, they get to the playoffs. Like, oh, you can't play him. He's just like he's got Enes Kanter vibes.
In that scenario, I'll still take him for the regular season grind, and then you just got to have players to play for him in the playoffs, which is fine because his contract is not that crazy, and it ends after that year.
Yeah,
but it's Kuz is like the only big salary on it. He's like 14 mil. He's the only one that's really on there. And everything else, I think they can work around. Like everyone else comes off the books. So I think you just got to try and go ship out Kuz.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way, even if it's like you dump this 1st round pick. I think they have a 1st round pick this year, actually. I'd have to look at that.
And then who do they get? Do they go get D Rose? I think Sawyer put that in the chat. He said, do they get D Rose? Like, I don't even know who they go get.
I would have to look at it. We'll have a whole off-season show. I don't know. Here's the thing. Like, I do love D Rose, and I think he'll be great. We need young. We need some explosiveness. There was a tweet from, if you follow Lakers Twitter, Anthony Irwin, who does like Locked On Lakers and all this stuff. But he was like, we need to sign some people that can dunk a basketball. Like we sign someone who can jump.
JaVale McGee.
Yeah, like we don't have anyone like THE threw down one, all this kind of stuff. You need some athletes like a Derek Jones Jr. Give me someone who is going to leap. Like it's just and also shooters for obviously, but they got to make some moves. They're just too old. Like I get what they did, why they did for the team. And all those pieces fit. We had them go into the finals with that team. And I think they would have if everyone's healthy. but
I think it's
you
similar.
can't rely on it now.
Yeah. And I think it's similar to the Nets where I think healthy and playing together, they make a ton of sense. But it does get to a point where you're like, oh, wow. Yeah, the Lakers haven't played together since like Christmas. And the Nets get away with it a little bit because they get to start with the Celtics. But because of where the Lakers fell in the standings, it's like you don't have a series to like work into it against the Grizzlies. You to come out firing against the Suns. And I mean, Devin Booker, man. Devin Booker.
He went full Mamba. He was just like killer instinct, like full Mamba.
And he normally, like, I know, like, Devin Booker won the 3-point contest. He's a shooter, but he's not someone that jacks up like 8 or 9 threes a game. No. So to see what he was firing out last time, I mean, that was wild.
He came out hard. Also, I believe he's 1/4 Mexican, so we claim him officially. He is part of the familia. So we love Devin Booker. We will support him in all his efforts.
He was taken in the Chappelle Show draft
yes,
12 years ago.
Yep. I'm officially choosing him.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that series now where I look at Caleb Brooks. Not yet. I know what you're doing, Caleb, but not yet.
There we go.
I'm excited. I'm excited for that series because I think Jokic against Ayton is going to be fun because, I mean, Ayton looked incredible against the Lakers, but Jokic is a different
beast. Come on. It was Andre Drummond for like 4.5 games, and then it was Marc Gasol. Like, come on. Like, I get it. Ayton did look good, and you and I have talked about this. Like, I love the young guys. I don't give up on these young superstar or potential superstar guys, right? Like high draft picks, I should say. So I was happy that he was looking good. Good for him. But it's a different ball game going against Jokic. I think he's going to make him look like a fool. He's going to make him get into foul trouble early. Like, it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
He's going to put him, but I am excited for that series.
I want to share Joey's comment because he says all teams remaining in the playoffs had minimal bubble grind, except for the one team with the one superstar who hasn't missed a game this year, Jokic and the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
Like, because they went, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying that they built a team. They're also young enough. Like, MPJ's obviously young. Jokic, like, their bodies are ready to go through that grind outside of Jamal Murray. Like, but yeah, the bubble, I do think that shortened window screwed everything up. I think it just did. It was too much. Like, when they said they were restarting in December, I was like, I wish we didn't have to play until February. I know. Like, it was tough.
It was. I totally get it too. I totally get, like, I'm not at the point where I'm like, oh, there's an asterisk on the last 2 seasons, but it definitely had an effect. The thing about Denver that's going to be so interesting is, like, and you saw it last night, the Blazers were up like 12 or 14 or whatever, and then Jokic was like, hey guys, I'm the best player on the floor, so I'm single-handedly going to do this.
I saw him walk into the game. It was like, it got close. It was like 2 or 3 minutes or 2 or 3 point lead, and then he walks up to the scorer's table. But the way he walked up to the scorer's table was just kind of like, all right, guys.
All right, just get out of my
get
out of the way.
It was just so confident and like,
and
I guess I got to come in and do this. And I was just like, oh man, he's about to cook. He's ready.
And you can tell the league's starting to respect him as a superstar because he came in. I think he got 2 fouls in the first quarter, and he came in and in the second quarter was just hacking away, and the refs wouldn't call the third foul. They're like, we're not doing that tonight. We're not putting the superstar in foul trouble. So you can tell he's ascending a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, but I'm excited for that series quite a bit. So, and then, like, go ahead.
I was just going to say, who's coming out the West now?
I think I'm rooting for the Nuggets because you know how I feel about Jokic, but I think the Suns are I'm taking the Suns. If I'm betting on it, I'm taking the Suns.
And do you think the Suns have the best shot against the Nets? Like, I don't think anyone has a shot, but the thing I want now at this point, I want whoever is going to push the Nets to at least 7 games.
I think we're about to see it.
Who is that team?
I think it's the Bucks.
Well, yeah, you're right. I'll be happy with that. But let's say they get past them. From the West, I want them to have a slug fight to win this title. I want it to be like they're going through the Bucks 7 games. If somehow Embiid can get healthy for the next round, then they go through the 6 or 7 games, and then and then to the finals. I want it to be 7 games. Also, I don't want it to be like the Jazz and then they get swept in like 4 or 5. Because I like the Jazz, but I don't know if they can do it.
Yeah, I think the Jazz have the offensive firepower to like fire threes, like between like Conley, Mitchell, Bogdanovich, O'Neal. Like, they got enough guys that can chuck threes to stay with them. Ingles, yeah. I just don't, and Clarkson when he comes off the bench, I just don't know if I don't think they match up in a favorable way. The Suns are interesting because they they can play pretty tough defense, but honestly, I don't
Yep.
think the Suns can hang with them either. I thought the Sixers were going to give them the best run, but if Embiid's playing on one leg or not playing at all, that's a wrap. That's a wrap.
Do you think I was just going to say maybe the Nuggets only because Jokic, like I feel like he's the best superstar left in the West.
Yeah.
And I think he can just do so much and create so much for the team. But I guess if you're like rolling out Monty Morris, like
that's the thing, man. With no Jamal Murray, not even no Jamal Murray, but no Will Barton either.
Yeah.
And not that Will Barton's a superstar, but he's at least like it's less Kim Pazzo minutes. It's less Austin Rivers minutes, really, is what it is. I do think too, like we're talking about Jokic is potentially the best player left. I mean, what Luka's doing is pretty wild. And if you told me Luka was going to take that Mavs team to the finals and then average like 45, 15, and 15, who knows, man?
I don't know. I don't know about all that. I think I'm going to, you know what? I think I'm going to say it's probably the Suns. Like, I think they can shoot. Jay Crowder just shot like the best 3-point percentage, I think, on the team. And then he went like 5 for 7 or 6 for 8 last night. If that guy's just hitting, and then Bridges can hit, like, I don't know, maybe if CP3 gets a little bit more healthy, he can orchestrate because he's got the veteran leadership and then get Booker hot. Just maybe, but I don't know. Crowder was I'll give him this. He was going after LeBron and took on the assignment. Like, it's a different beast going against KD, who can just shoot over everyone.
Right.
But if he's botting up Harden, the other thing is like Harden will just draw fouls. Right, like he's just going to draw the foul. You can't really guard him. So I don't know.
I mean, really, outside of the Bucks, I don't think anybody can give a run against the Nets right now. I mean, the Bucks at least can like throw Giannis and Holiday at two of those guys, and then you just gotta hope Middleton and the third cancel themselves out. And the Sixers, I really like the matchup because I was like Ben Simmons, Matisse Thybulle, and like no one can cover Embiid. So like that would have been a really fun series, but that Embiid injury sucks. Really I
think honestly, I'm just really trying to say who can I root for out of the West to maybe shove these guys around a little bit. Like which team? I guess I'm gonna just root for the Suns. Maybe the Jazz. They're whoever's healthy. I think that's it. Like honestly, like sure, I'd love the Nuggets to go because Jokic is the man, but like they're not full strength, and you just know that's what's gonna happen. So whoever has a full squad, I guess that's who I'm going to root for. I don't think the Jazz are ready for prime time like that. I think at least with the Suns, you have CP3 who can finally say, "I've been to a finals. Like this is my shot. Like this is it," and he's going to go all out. So maybe
that man, Kuz is just getting absolutely murdered.
I know.
In the chat.
Hey, I've seen it in the chat, guys, and I'm not mad at it because my God, he was awful. I'll defend him a tiny bit during the season. He had some moments where it was like, wow, he's playing defense and he's hustling and getting rebounds. But like, seriously, yesterday, every time he had the ball, I said, oh, this is going to be bad. He just drove straight to the basket and fumbled it every single time. There was it was just really bad. And I'm like, it's going to get blocked. It's going to be a turnover. It's going to be a terrible pass. He tried to play, I'm going to step up. This is it. And he played outside of what his abilities are. He can't consistently shoot. He can't consistently drive. He can't really play defense. Like it reminds me of an old UCLA player back in the day I used to love, Ed O'Bannon, who balled out in college.
Shout out the O'Bannon bros.
Yeah. And he was like a tweener, and then he just didn't really have a spot in the NBA at that time. And that's where I feel Kuz is. He just doesn't really have a spot. He's not a power forward. He's not a small forward. He can't play small ball 5. Like he just doesn't do anything. He doesn't shoot threes consistently. He doesn't pass the ball. Like he needs to do one thing good and you will get minutes.
I think, first I want to say, if we want to go glass half full, maybe this is good. LeBron gets to like relax a little bit, like get rest after a tough, the bubble and then this year and then the injury, like he gets healthy, whatever. And I don't want to put this on the Lakers organization, but at some point, like why put some, like how much effort and what's the word, intention did they put into like Kuz's development, right? I feel like Kuz was there like, hey, this is the role you're going to play with this team. And then when AD goes down or LeBron's out, they're like, okay, hey, man, we need you to take the keys now. But it was like he's never been groomed to take the keys. I feel like Kuz was so overrated at the beginning. And now I think we're at the point where everyone's like, you're going to be in China next year, which I still think I think Kuz has potential there. He looked like garbage last night, but
Mike, I'm going to tell you, I've been watching Kuz a long time. I watched him in the Pac-12. I watched him in college. He what everyone forgets is that he played like 3 years in college.
Yeah.
Like when he came out with Lonzo, he's older than everyone else. At some point, I think players are who they are.
Yeah.
And I think Kuz is who he is. And barring some insane dedication to basketball, which I don't see him doing.
Yeah.
He loves fashion. He loves being Little Hollywood. He loves all that stuff. He needs to get shipped to Detroit where he's out of the limelight and say, oh shit, I have to actually be good at basketball to then get out of Detroit. Right?
Detroit.
Like that's or Sacramento. Like he's got to be off the grid because right now he's still going to get enough sunshine because it's LA. Like we've got to he's not putting in the work, man. That's just what it is. He's not putting in the work.
Yeah, Sacramento will max Kuz like tomorrow. Max deal.
Yeah.
I feel like we needed with the Nuggets, we kind of glossed over a little bit, but we got to talk about how Michael Porter Jr. just came out and hit 6 threes in the first quarter. That was awesome.
So my buddy Bobby Bell, shout out Bobby Bell. He till this day, he texts about how the Clippers passed on MPJ in that draft and they picked Jerome Robinson. And he and I'm like, hey man, MPJ, like I know he had his back injury, but like it's already your 13th pick, and they had already picked someone ahead of that.
It was SGA.
Yeah, SGA, right? So I was like, you got the W, like let's roll the dice a little bit. At this point, sit him out the year, and he was like, yeah, like I like that idea, and he was into it. And he just will not let that one go. And I'm like, look, they would have traded him anyways for Kawhi or whatever, PG. But he's just like, he should have been on the Clippers. Maybe they wouldn't have made the trade for PG had they had him. But he'll never let it go. And my God, he looks great. I know.
Sorry, Martin. He does look great. I remember I was at a bar during the draft, and the Knicks selected Kevin Knox, I think, instead of Michael Porter Jr. And the guys next to me were losing their mind because they're like, "Now's the time to take a chance."
That's where I'm at. Especially after they took SGA, I'm like, "What do you have a potential number 1 draft pick sitting there? Roll the dice, baby. You're the Clippers. What else you got to do? Roll the dice.
Roll it." And now, so I got to also shut up Mario out in here for a
Mario.
So are you like full Mavs fan tonight then with the Lakers out? Do you just have to root hard against the Clippers?
So I'm conflicted. I'm really conflicted. It's a great question. As much as I want to hate on the Clippers, I still kind of believe they can push the Nets around. More so than the Mavs. I think I'm just anti-Nets right now, to be honest, more than anything. I want them to fight for that title. I want it to be earned. So that's why if it's Bucks, then Sixers, and then maybe Clippers in the finals or Suns. Because I'm just like, at least if it's the Clippers in the finals, Kawhi who's won titles, has been there. Mm-hmm. As much as Paul George, he's still really good. And I think like that team, like Pat Bev will just toss some people around. Like I just want it to be a competitive series. So as much as I would love for the Clippers to leave with us, I just really want the Nets to just get shoved around.
So normally I would agree with you, but the Clippers don't seem like they want to play basketball. They just like take halves off. They take like full halves off.
You're right. You're probably right, and that's fair. But like Luka's is his own beast, and I don't know. I don't know what I see the Mavs doing next round.
Andy says, I guess Dustin kind of gave you that story. Can you tell me a nice story where Kawhi and PG ball today, forcing a game 7? Thank you.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe I don't know. Maybe that the Lakers are out now. They say, this is our chance to say, haha, like, let's get after it. Lakers are out. Like maybe that's their sort of fire to say, let's get after this. We have a shot now. I don't know.
Before we transition into the marketplace, and Dustin, I know if you have to jump off at any time, just bounce. I do want to say, like, going back to the Suns, Jay Crowder does think he's better than most basketball players. So that matchup would be pretty. That's funny, Alex. That matchup would be pretty funny, just because I could see Jay being like, "Hey guys, I got Durant. Don't worry about it. Like, I'll body Durant." And on Dario Saric will probably do some shitty, like, dirty plays. We'll get something out of him. So I could see that one being a little bit of a fight. But you're right. Clippers could actually lock people down if they wanted to.
Yeah, they can shoot threes. I mean, they were the best 3-point shooting team of the entire NBA season, I think, or top two maybe. So at some point that can help. But I do look, Jay Crowder roughed up LeBron. They horse collared him. They poked him in the eye. You saw CP3 shoving Kuzma to the floor and tripping him. They'll do some dirty stuff.
Yeah,
which I'm not mad at if it's going to be against the Nets. I mean, they had 2 players get ejected in the final minute of the game, up by 18.
I love that.
You might need that against the Nets, right?
Wait, who is the other one that got
Jay Crowder and Devin Booker? They both got ejected.
I didn't see that Booker got ejected.
Yeah, Booker got ejected. They were just talking trash.
Yeah,
and that's why I like that fire. I don't mind it against the Nets.
Yeah. Steven says, our culture sucks. 10+ years with the Clippers franchise, and it's full of disappointment. Move the team to Alaska.
Alaska, wow.
To deliver something else.
Yeah, Bobby says the same thing every day. He says, just move him to Seattle. But, yeah.
Man.
Rough.
Stop and Pop says, just so people realize, Kuz, Schroeder, and Harrell led the Lakers in total points in this entire regular season. Which, I mean, yeah, because of injury and stuff.
Yeah, injuries. It makes sense. They ran him out there to just say, eat up these minutes so we can get there. And then there was injuries. So, they showed looking at the record, it was 25-7. And then since then, it was 23-27 was the record once the injuries hit. So,
yeah.
It's a different beast. It's a different beast once it comes to the playoffs. That's why Trez was let go. That's why all these guys happen. Kuz is not built for that yet. He's got way more work to do. Hopefully he's inspired by what he saw. And it's if Jay Crowder clam chowder is hitting threes like this and playing defense, maybe that's my role. He's got to take a look in the mirror.
He does. He really does. I know it sucks that the Lakers are out for you, Dustin, but as a non-Laker fan, as a NBA fan, it is kind of fun that the West just feels wide open right now.
No, it's not. It's not at all. Not fun at all.
All right.
It would be fun. Look, it would be fun if the Nuggets were healthy. Then I would say, all right, everyone's going after it. Everyone's healthy. It just feels like the team that should probably go can't, and it sucks that they won't be able to.
I think one of the things that I'm excited about the Nuggets getting through the first round is that no one can say, because Jokic is going to win the MVP, and no one's going to be like, oh, the MVP got knocked out in the first round as a 3. You can't say that. And I'm just so happy that conversation won't happen. If they lose to the Suns, they're not supposed to beat the Suns. They're ranked lower. I'm just glad that conversation won't happen. All right, let's talk about is there a good comment in there?
I just like that you're already making excuses for your boy Jokic.
I was just nervous that what was going to happen is they were going to lose that first round and everyone's going to be like, that dude sucks. Or we should have given the MVP to Harden or something stupid like that. So I'm just glad. I'm glad that's not happening.
No.
Did you see any of the news yesterday with the new pack drop and the
playoff pack reserved it? It looks like people that are new users can get their pack today, I think at 11, which is nice. So I'm going to remind my brother because he's been scooping up some packs, which is fun for him.
Did you see the MGLE drop for Monday?
Yeah, I saw that. I think Terrence Ross was opening up a pack, right? T. Ross, and they showed one of his moments. It's a filthy dunk. It's really nice. I didn't get a chance to look at all of the stuff that's in it.
Yeah, there's actually some pretty nice moments. They have the Nets moment in there where it's the whole team is involved. That's in there, which is pretty exciting. But there are a lot of controversy where it's only $24 for the pack. So
and they're at a $4.99 though, right?
On a $4.99. So instead of the $99 pack or the whatever it was last time, they're only $24. But they also jacked up the collector score pretty high. So it's going to be you over 2,500 to qualify for this one.
So do we think that their thought process is that rent seekers won't be able to join and undercut like crazy, and the people that are actually going to be eligible to buy these packs are going to be the ones that are collectors that are not going to just try and say, I got this MGLE $4.99. I paid $24 for the pack. Someone buy it off me for $19.
I think that's probably part of it. Maybe. Hey, I did keep the cool cat, Steven. Don't you worry about it. I kept every single goddamn one of them. I think that's part of it. I also think it's just kind of and Top Lock says only 5,000 packs are going to be available for the 24 MGLE. I think that's part of it. I think they're also trying to, reward the collector type thing, right? So that they're trying to, make the Cool Cats perk worth the Cool Cat thing. The one thing I like with the direction that it's heading, I think that's cool. I think they're like tweaking with it in a positive way. But I do think there are some people, like Dominic mentioned too, like he's been in it since February.
And he can't get it.
Yeah, and he's like, I didn't spend enough in the marketplace, so I don't qualify.
I was actually worried I wasn't going to be eligible because I didn't do the Cool Cat Challenge, and I was like, if I'm not eligible, then it's really elite because I've spent quite a bit of money and I've got a lot of moments, but I'm like, I'm able to do it.
What's your collector score at?
I think it was like 3,400.
34. So it makes me wonder, and if this has already been made public, please put it in the chat, but I don't think so. Do we know how much what the collector score is going to be for the holo pack? Because if this is 2,500 for legendary,
yeah, it might be like,
for rare,
it might be like 5,000 or something. I scooped up a rare a couple of days ago just to see if it would help boost my collector score. I picked up a Darius Baisley throwdown for $38.
Oh, nice.
I like the play. I like the player, and it was a rare, and I was like, I don't mind having them in my collection. It's so cheap.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe it'll boost my score. So I was happy. I'm happy with the moment. I do think what we've seen about scarcity and all that stuff, I think it still rings true, and it's only 1,800. And I'm like, maybe Baisley turns out to be something pretty good. Like, is he going to the moon? Probably not, but like, maybe it'll be worth a little bit more down the line. I don't know. Yeah. It was and to get eligible for some other stuff. So if I spend the 38 to be able to be eligible for this pack that I like, maybe it's a domino effect. So I went after something like that.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that makes sense where it's like a low risk too. Like you're getting it at $38, you're not getting it at like 400 or something like that.
Yeah, not even like 150. Like I could have tried to chase the jaw or something. I know some of them are still in the challenges, but or the Miles Bridges. Like I want some of those, but I'm like, I like this one and it's cheap and it's a rare. I'm gonna add it to the collection. Yeah.
Frank says Cool Cats in the marketplace spend was the right way to go. Those 2 requirements were from people that actually funded this process. Yeah, I get it. I don't hate it too. I like those bonuses. Speaking of the marketplace though, have you been messing around with it now that, so we're seeing it, it's hard. Oh wait, are you hearing that feedback too?
No, my garage door is opening. Maybe it's picking that up.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. Okay. I thought I just stepped on my thing. Yep, that's what it was. But have you been going after anything? Because we've seen, it seems like the floor is stabilizing, maybe going up a little bit. So is it time to buy?
I think it is. No, Martin, I'm not calling you a rent seeker. I'm talking about everybody else. Everyone else that's not watching this is a rent seeker. But you know what?
Everybody turn your volume down for a second because Martin's getting involved in the chat, so you know what that means. There we go. Shut up, my man, Martin.
There we go. The only stuff I've bought a few things, but it's been very small. Like I added a Steph. I think it was like a 35K moment. I added a LeBron because I only had like 1 or 2. Like I've added players that I like to just have in my collection for not much. And I think my thought was there, like, it's just going to be at some point, I think there will be an influx of a ton of users and they're going to want superstars, whether it's like a big market that's not, in this yet, or just common people. And I think like a mass market, I should say, within the US where it's a huge push, and they're going to want some LeBrons and stuff. And even if it's a series 2, whatever, I was just like, I might as well have it, because I think they'll say that series 1 is too expensive to grab. They'll be in series 3 and they're going to covet series 2 and say, oh, that might be nice to grab and add to my collection. Oh, I would love to have that moment versus just whatever the latest one is.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I think that's pretty sharp. I do think that's pretty sharp. I'm still monitoring some of the stuff that I've been monitoring because I wonder, and I was in the Discord a little bit about this with Sawyer. I do wonder, like, does this affect more of the floor level moments versus like some of the more expensive moments? Like, are we still going to see those stay around that price range? So I'm still paying attention to that pretty closely. But I scooped a couple of Top Shot debuts this morning. The Trey Young, I went after and got that one, and even a De'Aaron Fox. I went and got a De'Aaron Fox today. But
spending money, I'm right there with you. I'm going to buy stuff. The one thing I actually wanted to buy too was, I know you're not as big of an Edwards guy. I want to buy Anthony Edwards, but I'm I'm on the fence only because it's a 4K moment, and I'm like,
Mhm.
is my money better spent on a Series 1 Top Shot debut of another player? I do think I'll get the Edwards regardless, but I don't know. I think I'm going to just start spending. I think
Yeah.
it's time. I think it's time because I'm going to be so mad if I wait a little bit longer and everything creeps up at like another 150 or $200. Just grab everything I can.
Hold on. Jason says this show is not what he expected. I don't know what maybe because it's technically in the afternoon where you are. I don't understand what you'd be missing. And we are, in fact, not certified ballers. But if you go over to the Top Shot stream, maybe you'll get Josh Hart or Karl Anthony Towns. But Jason, we love that you're here today. Oh my God, we did not go to grad school yet to get our Top Shot degree. But I did take an L on CJ McCollum, so that's my certification. But But yeah, I'm with you. I think I don't know. I was under the impression that the Holo Pack was going to be $1,000, and now I'm like, oh, maybe it's not. So I was kind of setting some money aside for that.
Right.
So I think I'm going to get in there, and there were some moments we've talked about that we're still monitoring. But now I'm like, I moved off of an MGLE, a Josh Hart MGLE. I've moved off of a couple of like rare Series 1 stuff to kind of combine those funds to then go get the Top Shot debuts that I actually want. And it seems like we missed the window. Seems like we missed the window to go get our Devin Booker though. After seeing his performance last couple nights, like that actually skyrocketed.
I saw that it was 700. That was going to be my question. Like I saw you went after the Trey, the price went up a little bit, and I'm like, I agree. I want to grab stuff because I do think the price is going to go up a little bit, and we'll see. Maybe there's going to be a bigger push, but I'm a little worried about chasing guys that are still in the playoffs. That's kind of my thing. I'm a little worried about doing that.
That it like just comes back down after the playoffs end. And I mean, we talked about this too, but like when you're looking to buy, like looking at how many moments are listed, like how many current are listed, and then what does the range look like? Are there like 10 in that same range, or is it just like one and then there's a big jump?
Yeah, I was looking at that earlier. I got to try and find who I was, but I saw the same thing.
Jason said he's going to report the stream, and Greg said you can report the stream to me. Yeah, Greg HR Dunbar.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing I'm doing is seeing how many moments are for sale or in circulation or whatever. For the most part, a lot of the ones that we're looking at are like they're done. It's just kind of chase these. But the thing I'm looking at is how many are for sale, and then how many are in a window of the price that I'm willing to pay, and then monitoring those. So if it's like 5 of them, great, and then I see it starts to go down to only 3 of them, then I get a little worried. Because the jump then goes from those 3 that are in my price range to like a $250 to $500 jump. Yeah. So I don't know that maybe those people aren't paying attention, or maybe those people don't care, or they're just throwing out crazy prices. So that's the thing I'm just kind of eyeing right now.
Yeah. One more. I'm going to share one more comment from Jason, and then I'm probably going to boot him because this is getting boring. First of all, Jason, I would like that you think thousands of people are watching this right now. I have always said thousands of people should be watching this, so it's really nice. It's really nice that you're here. But Jason Smithy, I hope you have a really nice rest of the day. Get outside this weekend. There's a lot of fun things to do this weekend, and collectively, we're gonna say bye to Jason. Okay, so bye, Jason.
Bye.
Yeah, we're done. We're done. It's getting distracting.
Let me ask you a question on the tray of it all. Right. So I agree. Yeah. It's a great moment, and I'm tempted to buy it. And I don't know. Maybe I can get it at a smaller price if it goes whatever. I think it's still within range to the point to just say screw it. Right. Like I think we kind of hit that point. But pull it up real quick. So yeah, 423, 1 owned. Look at that.
Also, yeah, shout out to I love that tweak in the marketplace. This is great.
I hate that it's that. I wish you would have scored the bucket. But do the select if you mind. Do the select and buy.
Yeah, sure.
And let's see. So those 2, that's what I was looking at. Good price on both. I know you paid a little bit more to get a better serial number, which I agree with. I don't know that I want either of those at that price. The next thing I was looking at was the 3-digit for 485, but then I'm like, all right, do I want to pay? Also, a shout out Real Rad Dad. Isn't that from our Discord, Real Rad Dad?
Oh, I think so. Is that the Real Rad Dad?
It might be him. What's he doing? Should I buy it off him? So I was like, that 753 cereal for that price. Maybe it's that. But then that's when I text you on the other side, and I was like, it might have been. I was like, is that? I lost my train of thought because that was such a good comment.
Sorry,
that was such a good comment.
we were talking about Real Rad Dad, and
Oh,
then
yeah, no, I get it. So it's 485 for that one for a 3-digit serial. And then I was like, okay, where was this before he popped off and bowed to the Knicks, right? Like said
yeah,
goodbye. And it was like $350. It was like 330, 350. And I'm like, okay, I don't know if I want to pay 150 plus
extra.
dollars more for
Mhm.
this moment because he's in the playoffs right now. So I don't
Right.
know. I might sit Trey out, but I do think I'm going to buy some stuff.
Yeah, so let me tell you why I went for trade today. One, I like wanted this moment at some point. I was like, I've been talking about it for a while. I saw it sitting around 300, and I told myself if I sell, there was a couple of those moments, and I was
Right.
like, if I sell those, I'm gonna go get one. And I was going to wait until the offseason until the Embiid injury happened, and then
Yep.
part of me was like, there's a chance they get through the Sixers, and then do we see another bump? So that's kind of why I ended up going after
So,
it
well, let me
today.
ask you that question then. So, if that happens, which I can see it happening, I agree.
Yeah,
I think all of that. Do you then sell if the price goes up and then
I,
buy
th-
back after?
I
Is that
think
is
so.
that your plan? Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what I would do. But just in case I'm wrong on that, I did pay like 20 extra bucks. I think I
Right.
spent 460 for like a 3-digit one.
Let me ask you another question. I'm going to pull up another, or maybe you can pull up
Yeah,
another player. So this is about let's see how many exist of that tray. It was like 20 something hundred, right? Like 2,500,
yeah,
2,700. So not comparing these players because I don't think they're the same. And I do Trey is on a level. He's got the superstar power. But in terms of just like buying something on the cheap for someone's out of the playoffs, Zach LaVine.
Zach LaVine. Yeah, let me pull up the LaVine, like the debut moment.
Yeah, what do you think that is? Just before you see it,
Oh, before I look, sorry. All right, I'm
you
switching
could just
tabs.
you won't see it. Don't worry.
My guess is like a little over 300.
So let's take a look.
All right,
Go ahead.
let's see.
It's
Where's
not.
it? 140. Wow.
That's what I'm saying.
The
So
Bradley Beal treatment, huh?
yeah, like I think I might just grab that for that price and wait around and see what happens with Trey. If I miss out on Trey and it balloons like to 700, like you're saying, because of the playoffs, so be it. And Trey's
Yeah.
ceiling is probably higher, but
Mhm.
I do like Zach LaVine a lot. I think he's just made an all-star team. The Bulls are the Bulls. We'll see what they have to do to make some moves, but
Yeah.
I don't know. That feels really cheap.
That is like Bradley Beal territory in the way that he's being treated right now,
Right.
where it's like a scorer on a bad team. You know, you
Right.
said Embiid. I do kind of want to look at him too, because I'm curious what that injury news has done. And like, I'm not going to get this right now, but I wonder, 339 for that debut. Less than 3K of them. How many are available? What, 94? And there's a bunch under 400. So this one's pretty interesting too. I mean, that injury history is just
That's his top shot debut, 339.
Yeah,
That's cheap, man.
I know.
Why? Okay, so here's my question: why not target that versus the Trey? Because you think Trey has a better chance of going further? I know you love Embiid.
I do love Embiid. I think Embiid is going to continue to go down before it goes up. Also, this is Real Rad Dad. Kyle K says that's me, and then says, I need to move one.
Well, I might buy that one off you.
Yeah. I think Embiid has a chance of coming down before it goes back up, because
Give
give
me that price. I'm going to negotiate live. Give me that price. That's right there. I will
doing it live.
buy it right now.
But I will probably go get that Embiid at some point as well. But that's kind of where I'm at right now, where I was in early enough that I scooped a bunch of stuff that I like. Oh yeah, someone wants me to check Jamal Murray. I'll definitely check that, because
That's a good one. Also, I just bought that Zach LaVine right now.
Did you?
I just bought it.
So
just bought the 3-digit one for like $20 more.
So the Jamal Murray, wow, that's 206.
See this? Okay, this is what I'm saying. Guys that are out of the playoffs and not playing are just they're being forgotten. So I think there's some bargains. Like, look, I'm not comparing Zach LaVine to Trae Young, but I was like, that's pretty damn cheap for Zach LaVine, who's pretty good. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I do want that Trae. I want a better cereal, and I want it for the right price. So, but I do want it. I get why you bought it. I want to join you in buying it. I'm trying to get there, but I need to. But I'm like wondering, maybe it's like scooping up a Jamal Murray for out of 1,400 for 206.
206, man. This is nuts, because I think this has to keep going down though, right? Like,
I don't know if it will, only because if the Nuggets are still playing, he's still on the sidelines pumping it up, and I think people get excited about Jamal Murray. I don't know how much. Well, why don't we look it up? Why don't we click on it, see how many are in that price range, see what the difference is? Like, that's another one I would scoop up. Like, why not?
It's also, I see the chat saying, I know the office hours. Does that start at 1 p.m. Eastern? Because we'll wrap by then if that's the case. Because I know Roham. It is 1 p.m.
Yeah, I gotta jump anyways too. So.
Okay, yeah. So we'll wrap up after the Jamal Murray talk. But yeah, so you go ahead.
That's what I was gonna say. Those three, actually scroll all the way to the top. Yeah, there's one at 254 for 341. Like, I might make that $50 jump to just get all the way that low.
Yeah.
The thing Jamal Murray.
Yeah, I'm going back and forth. I really want this moment too, because this was like around 500 for a while.
And it's a nice moment.
Yeah, and he's also going to miss like most of next year, I think.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
So, but yeah, that's definitely one. Yeah.
There we go. Shout it out. Appreciate it.
Oh man. Yeah. We'll end with this question. We the People says, honestly, does the actual moments matter to you or just the Top Shot debut? The actual moments matter as well, but I really like the Top Shot debut. To me, that's like collecting a series where it's like, oh, I want to have as many of those as I can.
I think it's a 50-50 for me now. Like, I've obviously been the probably 60-40 more in the moment than the badge, because I own but I don't think the marketplace reflects that, which is why I would say that the badge is probably more. So I own that Michael Porter Jr. bubble filthy finish over. Yeah, I forgot who it's over Trez, I think, in the Clippers. It's insane. It's better than his Top Shot debut. I have that one. I don't have his Top Shot debut. But if you look at the price, the Top Shot debut is way higher than that one. So unfortunately, I don't think always the moment is going to reflect the price. So you kind of got to balance them both out, is what I'd say.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And we talked about that like with Anthony Edwards quite a bit too. But
yeah, I have that one. I don't have his debut, but I'm going to get his debut.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Let's wrap there. People are asking me about the Tobias. I don't think we've moved it yet. I believe it's listed at $12.99 in the marketplace as the lowest ask as well. So
getting there.
Yeah, somebody go buy it. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, Dustin. Thanks for joining, man. It's
thanks for having me. It was great to be here. It's been a while since I've been on. I couldn't make the Wednesday, so I had to get here. Everyone, go listen to Office Hours and Yachty. Jesus.
All right, we're out of here. See you guys.
All right. Later.
PJ Washington.